Good morning, you guys.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Real Talk with SLR.
How are you guys doing today?
Another basement edition today, friends.
Yep, and another day where the kids do not go to school.
Yeah. We got all dressed and ready to go, drove down to the bus stop and everything, and wah, wah, wah.
No.
Bus never came, so.
It doesn't surprise me, to be quite honest, because there's one part where we're out here where it does have some asphalt on it, and that asphalt is still got some ice on it.
And it's really steep right there. It's steep and it turns. So.
It makes it a little squirrely trying to go down it and then turn real quick, or, turn real quick and get up it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday was a little interesting when I went to town, but
yeah.
I was driving safe and slow and everything. That part was still a little, a little sketch, I'm not going to lie, but I'm glad that I'm used to driving a little bit in the snow.
I'm happy that you were safe while you went out and about and came back. And I'm, as much as I would like the kids to get back to school so they can get back to their routines and back to learning, right?
No.
I am happy that the school is not taking chances with the kids. I do think, though, that by tomorrow, golly, everything should be...
I have a feeling by tomorrow it should be going a lot better. We had a huge, snow drift or, ice drift around the car and everything. That's already pretty much almost gone completely. So I have a feeling that after today, it should be all melted away.
Well, and everything is starting to turn into that sled.
Yeah. And now we're going to be worrying about, creeks overflowing.
Yeah,
and
the creeks, the water being too high. So, man, the kids this whole month of January, they've only gone to school for 5 days so far this month. It's it's been pretty crazy.
It's pretty nuts to me.
Yeah.
But it makes me happy. Like I said, school's not going to risk it, It makes me happy with that aspect.
Yeah, and it's been nice having them home. It's all good. It's all good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, today, Gary and I wanted to jump right in since, we have been reined in. There's not a whole lot of stuff to update with you guys with. We want to jump right in with some of the questions that you guys left on our last video. And we decided, we're going to do a little bit of story time for you guys since that question was asked a while ago. And I know that maybe some of you guys have been around for a while and have already heard our little story times, but maybe not. And this would be a good way for you guys to get to know us better. And it's fun. So I did go through the comments yesterday on Real Talk with SLR. I actually have my phone. There's a little section on the comment section where you can select questions only, and it will automatically filter it out. So hopefully I'm showing all of the questions and we'll be able to go through as many of them as possible, what time will allow. But before we start going through the questions, we're going to do a little bit of story time.
Yeah.
Yay.
A lot of you guys were wondering what our origin story is.
Yeah, how did we meet? Where did we get together? You guys know that we've been together for a really long time. Actually, this year, Gary and I have been together for 14 years.
Yeah.
Married for 13 in May. We'll have our 13-year wedding anniversary, so... It's been a wild ride. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a great ride, and it's been awesome. And we've known each other for even longer than that.
Yeah, we have. We were friends for many years before we started dating. So since I talk a lot and I'm long-winded, I'm going to give Gary the floor on this one, and I'll pipe in when I feel necessary. So go ahead, babe.
Well, so basically, to start it all off, Melanie was in a relationship beforehand. I did not know this before and everything. When I very first met her, I found it out during that time. But she was my neighbor.
We were next door neighbors.
We were next door neighbors. She was smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, we were
smokers back then. My buddy Johnny, at the time, he was all like, "Ooh, who's that? I'm going to go spit some game, blah, blah, blah." I'm going to go bum a cigarette from her. I was like, wait a second. You're going to go spit some game and bum a cigarette? I'm like, that's not going to work.
You're going to go be a bum and spit game?
That's pretty much, right? And then, he went over there, chit-chatted probably for 2 minutes, maybe not even. He was like, "Gary, get over here."
Yeah. Well, I was asking Johnny, I was all, "Who's your friend?" I could see him lurking over there.
No,
who's
I
that
went over there and
granted, yes. So it wasn't like that because I was in a relationship, but I was wondering hey, who's that over there? Just hanging out. To be friends, not to... Anyway,
correct.
Keep going.
So,
sorry.
went over there, chit-chatted, and found out that, she was in a relationship and all that. And I was just like, man, dang, I've seen you around a little bit, and I was wondering, but okay, now I'm putting two and two together on all these things, And, I got to know them and being, neighbors and everything, being neighborly and everything else like that. And I got to, I got to know you quite a little bit, seeing you every now and then and whatnot. And then one day she was having a party. She was, partying it up over there. Yeah. And I remember like hearing all the music and hearing all the stuff. I'm like, what's going on over there? It sounds like they're having a good time. I want to go have a good time. I mean, I wasn't invited, but I'll go invite myself. Like, if it's all right, I'm the neighbor. So I walked on over there, and I somewhat snuck over there per se, like up against the wall per se. And in my mind, I thought, they weren't really seeing me, and then I did the whole Wilson thing, like from Home Depot, or Home Improvement, and popped my head up. It's all dark outside. You guys are having a fire in your fire pit and all that. And yeah, me jumping up like that scared the heck out of everybody, and they all fell over, and they were like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
Who is this dude?
So we thought we were seeing...
And she was laughing her butt off because she knew who I was. Yeah. And I was like, hey!
We thought we were seeing an orange cat, because Gary's hair when he was younger, he had long hair, and it was very, like, flowy and shaggy stuff. Like, think emo kid. Oh, no, we're not doing this, Tiny. Go away. But think like emo kid, with the hair in front of the face and like long. And his hair, at least when he was younger, really was a lot more orange and was a lot more redheaded. Like it was a lot more red, yeah. It was a lot more redheaded.
Strawberry blonde.
Exactly. And so it was very fluffy and very long. And anyway, so you just see like this orange thing like bobbing on the fence, and we have it's nighttime and we're all laughing and anyhow, so we all thought that there was a cat like walking across the fence. Yeah. And then all of a sudden this cat, like, my other friends that were there disappeared.
Because I'm hearing them like, what is that? I'm like, I think they see me. So I just was like, all right, and pop my head up. And yeah, that freaked them all out. They're like, holy goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
So then he pops his head up over the fence, and everybody falls back in their chair. We're all laughing and everything. And Gary, nickname at the group of friends at that time, Gary was the cat.
Yeah.
And
that whole
thing. Gary's nickname was the cat.
Yeah.
And so he hopped over the fence, like he's all, hey guys, what's going on? And everybody else was like, who is this guy? Like they didn't know who he was, but I had talked to Gary a few times out in the front yard, because like we said, we were smokers and we would go out in the front and smoke, and I'd be outside smoking, and he'd come outside and be smoking. Hey, how's it going? How was your day today? Oh, day was good. Pretty much just basic chit chat like that.
No.
It was just kind of like cordial and stuff. But then that night that he turned into the cat, he came over the fence, and then, that was our first time we like hung out together.
No.
And we had a great time. It was awesome.
And then after that, it was basically me and you started talking a little bit more, and we would go on walks, and she ended up getting me a job with her and everything. So I started carpooling with her.
Yep.
And that was some good times, That was some great times that I'll never forget,
Yeah.
And then after all that, stuff went sour with your, ex and whatnot like that. And then me and you started talking and seeing each other a little bit differently, because I was like, well, shoot.
There was
there was never ever a time beforehand, but I was like, well, now you're single. Now I can at least like try to spit my game and say something, see what's up. Because I don't know. That's just how it was,
So Gary was a complete gentleman, and I was a lady when I was in a relationship, and he actually had several different girlfriends along the way too. And
I would talk to her, and like she was my good friend.
We were just homies.
We were really, really good friends.
Yeah, and
which, when like I said, once everything went sour and everything else, like I never really even thought about that aspect,
Yeah.
In the back of my mind, I was always wishing it, because, not just me per se, I was like, man, that would be cool, but I don't, And it did. I was surprised. Yeah, and it went really good. And I mean, you got married. And,
yeah.
It was a fun time.
It all happened. Me and Gary, being friends for a long time, really established like our relationship and our respect for each other, and finding out. We went through all like I guess kind of the growing pains of finding out who you are during our friendship, because we were friends for like we didn't start dating until you were basically 20.
No.
And I was 23, and then Gary and I started dating because that's when my relationship had gone sour, and due to other things. Yep. We don't need to go into all that. But yeah, pretty much we'll just, so that happened, and then Gary and I both found each other like single at the same time. And when I moved out, me and Gary didn't like get together right away. There was like a period of like, it was pretty quick though. I would say it was like maybe 2 months after I left my ex and I got into my new place. Like 2 months later, Gary and I started seeing each other. No. And then it was a couple months after that we were like, okay, we're official, we're dating, and Gary basically moved in.
Yeah.
Like he basically just moved into my apartment at that time. I was like, because he was over all the time. Mm-hmm. And the distance, I put a lot of distance between me and my ex. Like I moved to the complete other side of town. Like it actually was pretty amicable. Like that separation was pretty amicable, but at the same time, it did get nasty. Like all of the group of friends that I had at that time, like everybody and everything that I knew, like completely changed. As you can imagine, when there's separation from a relationship or whatever, sometimes that happens. Yep. And that did happen. And me and Gary, when we did start getting together and we moved in together in the apartment, we were together for like 9 months, and then we got engaged. He proposed to me. And then that was it, you know. And then like 3 months later, we got married. We had a very short engagement. On
our honeymoon, we conceived Julia.
On the honeymoon. Julia.
So yeah. It was.
It all happened very quickly. We started having a relationship, and then 2 years down the road, we were married and had a child.
Yep.
So it all happened very, very quickly. But I'm very happy with how everything turned out.
Oh, I mean, honestly, I can't see it going any other way, and I wouldn't ever trade any of the moments.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a huge learning curve, this thing that we call life.
Yeah.
And I am happy that I get to spend it with the love of my life.
Oh, baby, I love you. I remember the first time I saw you.
I remember the first time I seen you too. She was outside, and I was skating off to the skate park, and seen her. She was glowing and like in that sunlight aspect. And then I hit a rock.
He ate it.
Crap, dude.
He ate it on a skateboard.
Wasn't paying attention at all. I'm just sitting there. Shink! Oh crap! Hit the ground.
And I'm like, "Are you okay?" And as soon as I said, "Are you okay?" he bolted. He like was gone.
I was all, nope. Embarrassing. I'm out of here. Jeez, man. Why? The smallest little pebble. Stop you in your tracks.
Oh, he was so cute, though.
Man.
That was before we even said any words to That was before and we even talked to each other. That was the first time I saw you.
That was the first time I seen you, too. Like I said, in my mind, you know, I mean, I seen you before, and then I found out that you were, I was like, well, okay, you know. And, yeah.
Yep.
So.
But it all works out how it's meant to and how it's supposed to. I'm very happy. We got conceived Julia on our honeymoon, and then, basically, like every year or so after that I had 3 children in 5 years.
We had planned to have our kids at least 2 years to 3 years apart.
Yeah.
And we did that.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had Scarlett, and then we waited that time frame. And then me and her discussed and to see, you know, and we ended up discussing and saying that we were done after Scarlett, to be quite honest. And she had her scheduled appointment to go get her consultation done, so she can go get everything going for getting her tubes tied and everything. And that week before, we ended up, she took a test, you know, and found out that she was pregnant. Hey!
Surprise!
So we ended up having to change that appointment and make it into a an approval or a confirmation. Yeah. So
my tubal litigation consultation ended up being a pregnancy confirmation, and that's and that's Abraham. So I ended up having Abraham, and then a few weeks after that, I did get my tubals. So me and Gary, the baby factory is closed.
No.
I do sometimes go back and think. Sometimes I go back and I think, I'm like, man, because I always told Gary, I want an even number. I want an even number of kids.
I told you too. I left that one fully up to Mel because we already had that discussion. We already had everything else, right?
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, well, it's up to you. Okay. Yeah. You always said that you wanted to have, you didn't want to have odd number of kids.
I wanted to have 4 children.
Even numbers.
That's what I wanted to have 4 children.
If she has 1, she's going to have 2. If she had 3, she's going to have 4. And that's what she always told me.
If I have 5, then I'm having 6. Like, I wanted... So I wanted a big family, and I left it up
to her in that aspect to see what she wanted. But the thing
is that with Abraham, I did have some complications with the pregnancy. I had placenta previa, and
you had complications with every pregnancy.
I did, but not so much Scarlet.
Not so much with Scarlet, no. But
Scarlet was like my easiest, I'd say.
Yes, but you had complications with every single one.
Yeah,
and even. Julia was a bad one.
Yeah, Julia
was yes, but you had some pretty bad complications in that aspect.
I had some medical emergencies with Julia,
and that's where I'm, in that aspect and everything else. I'm sort of happy that we didn't, because who knows what would happen with the 4th.
Right, and then also too, into consideration, I had Abraham. I was 30, and I know many women that have babies after 30. I know so many women, like even your mom, right? Mm-hmm. And they can do it. I just didn't want that for me. I wanted to be a younger mom, and I wanted to be able to thoroughly enjoy my future grandchildren if I'm going to have them. And that's just how I always pictured my life being. That's what I wanted for my life. And so to me, like, the baby cutoff was always like 35. Right. And I ended up getting my tubal at 30. So because of the complications and because of how hard those pregnancies were, and just the amount of having 3 children in 5 years is very stressful. I know people that have had them, one right after another, and it's never easy. It's always worth it. It's always worth it.
It's different per person,
It is. Everybody has their own thing. Mm-hmm. But I knew that it was time for us to raise our children that we have. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of our origin story. As far as how we got together, there's obviously so much more to it. We got 14 years of being together, and all of that took place in Las Vegas. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, all that happened out there, and we,
we did not go to school together either. No. Gary actually. Like when I met him, schools. Yeah, you were already.
My parents moved around a lot. They were renting, and then they finally bought their house, and I was stuck where I was at basically. But I still ended up transferring because there's some interesting schools out there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, there's some pretty bad ones, that's for sure.
But
and I think we all went to. Yeah, we went to them.
We went to them, but it was something that both of us, because we did grow up in Vegas, why we ended up moving out of Vegas.
Yeah, because we grew up there. We're like, we're not raising our kids here.
And we ended up going further and further.
Like, I have friends that are raising their kids in Las Vegas, and their kids are growing up great and happy and healthy and everything. It's just not the life we wanted for our children. We wanted to get out of the concrete jungle.
Not when, especially me. Right. When I moved to Vegas, I moved from Idaho Falls to Vegas. And you want to talk about a culture shock? Oh, yeah. That was a huge culture shock. Yeah. Like, huge. Yeah. So, that's where I look at it more. So it's like, I don't, it's a massive culture shock in the sense of just what it is. And it's not anything, about Vegas per se. It's just the amount of crime aspects that are out there.
Well, whenever there's more people, aspects. Right? It's not the city. It's just
there are more people. There's more issues.
More crime, right? Yes. It's just how it goes.
So you can't can't knock a city for it per se because there's more people.
Yeah.
You know, but you just end up running into it a lot more. You know, and it's a little interesting.
But we knew we wanted to get out of there. We wanted to raise our kids somewhere else and do something else. And
I'm happy that we did what we did.
Yeah. We can continue on to this if you guys have any other questions. I can't believe we've been rambling on for already this long.
We can talk forever.
We can talk forever because we're talkers.
About
I didn't even go through any of the questions in the comments section, and I'm going to, unfortunately, have to leave those for another day.
Yeah. We'll end up talking about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or do you want to do it tomorrow, Real Talk, since we're going live on Simple Life Reclaimed?
Yeah.
On Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll do it. We'll do a Real Talk tomorrow, and then also we'll talk with you guys during the live chat, because I think tomorrow we'll just go straight to your guys' questions. We'll pause the story time just a little bit. We'll go straight to your questions, answer off a few of them, and then maybe Thursday continue some story time where you guys can ask in today's video other things that you guys want to know.
Yep.
Okay? Does that sound good? Sound like a plan?
Good to me.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Well, we are going to be live on Simple Life tomorrow. Like we just figured out, we're going to be doing a Real Talk tomorrow. Today, I have a video that I'm going to put out on Simple Life. It's all in the basement.
Yes.
It's all in the basement. And it's some fun stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And yeah, so that should be out later on today, maybe around 1:30, 2 o'clock. It just depends on polishing, but should be able to put it out for you guys. Keep your notifications turned on.
Yes.
Yeah. And we're going to run, so you guys know the drill. We love you guys so much. Thank you for watching today's episode and spending your morning and your time with us. Really love you from the bottom of our heart. As usual, friends, until the next one, we hope you have a good one.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye, you guys.
Later.